As the mechanisms for prosperity increase, human rights must increase alongside them, or else instability is what will fill the void. Just consider this. Human rights are not a natural occurring thing in this world. We have earned them through a social contract where we've come together as a society to ensure that our community has basic standards of freedom that we all expect. It was this incredible liberal movement by our founding fathers in the United States that established the Bill of Rights and the core fundamental freedoms that we assume to be a right as humans. Before these rules and rights were established, it was not a guarantee that you had freedom of speech. It was not a guarantee that someone that was more powerful than you or stronger than you wouldn't come along and just push you down and kill you if they didn't like you. It is because of our society that we have basic rights to our own bodily autonomy. In a system where the strong make the rules, if they do something and you don't like it, there's no punishment for them. But we have recognized that if we come together, we can establish rules that even the most powerful people in the hierarchy have to follow, and many of us are stronger than the few of them. This idea that AI is going to take over all of our work, I would argue, is less of an idea and more of a prophecy. It is going to happen in your and my lifetime. In the next few years, I think white-collar jobs will be almost completely eliminated. And then very soon after that, robotics is poised to merge with AI to take over the majority of blue-collar work. We already have automated factories that make it less necessary to have individual human beings in the production process of things like automobiles. We already have GPS farming equipment that can do the farming for us. It's a very small step to take from doing the farming for us to loading the truck to delivering the food to our grocery stores to unpacking the trucks and making sure that the food is present in front of us. We are quickly eliminating, as a society, as we should, the majority of productive labor that is necessary in order to feed our family and also to have a healthy, happy quality of living. Once you eliminate humans from these production processes, it becomes imperative to ask, what are we going to do with ourselves? Humans will be an inefficiency in the process. We will have abundance everywhere. And we can either throw out the fruits of the land, or we can make sure that everyone has enough to feed themselves. That people have access to medicine that's already been produced when they're sick. That someone with diabetes has access to insulin because it's so easy and cheap and affordable to make. And in fact, dealing with their negative health outcomes as a society is more expensive. Not only that, it's just inhumane not to give people necessary medical procedures and medicine that we have in abundance. There's a lot of feedback that I've been getting of, I don't think that this will be good for small business. And hey, how are people going to be rewarded for doing the hard work of the few jobs that are left over? What we're talking about here is, first of all, if you're worried about small businesses, worry about the people that go to those businesses. With a universal basic income system, those everyday people like you and me will be able to spend our leisure time going to small businesses that want to do something creative. I'm a huge fan of chess. And chess is more popular today than it has ever been in history, and AI has been able to beat the best humans at chess for a long time now. There is an intrinsic value in our existence as humans and in our ability to build a community and form a happy society around things that we want to push for. And we should reward people for doing that. I really do think it's a bit sad that people are using AI in order to rip off the creative works of hardworking people that really put their best foot forward. But I do think there are non-productive, and I productive in quotes, because I think that building community is a productive thing to do, but there are non-productive things that we will value as a society that we need to start rewarding people for. If we have a world that has everything that materialistic that you could ever want, what we need to start focusing on is how do we bring out beauty in this world? I can only imagine a world where I can go to the grocery store, but there is no art or music. That sounds pretty bad. And I genuinely appreciate and enjoy live music with the slight minor imperfections of the artists much more than I do a perfect CD rendering of an artist's work. Now, I love listening to Spotify. I appreciate that the digital mediascape that produces or lets us appreciate this art does have its own merit and value. But there is absolutely room for us as humans to come together and build community. We need to start working towards that direction, though, because we are very quickly approaching the point where it will not be a human's responsibility to feed ourselves and shelter ourselves. And we need to make sure that we limit the amount of suffering that occurs during this vast transition. This is going to be the fastest and biggest change to how people live their day-to-day lives that has ever been experienced by any population ever. We're not talking about a generation that was born into peaceful times and went to war. We've seen our fair share of wars, but that has happened throughout human history. And typically, you still need people going about business, producing food, working the fields, operating in the cities, making sure things are going from place to place. We are currently in the process of getting rid of that second section of how things operate. That we will not need to go to work anymore. And if you are born into this society, just as you didn't ask for all of the negative sides of society, but you have to deal with them anyways, society has built all of these positive things, and you also deserve the good that society has to offer. Just being alive gives you the human right to appreciate and share in this community that we are building together. I fundamentally believe that pushing for systems like universal basic income, universal healthcare, shelter for every single person that needs it, and the sharing of community and happiness for everyone is not just possible in this AI robotics-driven future that we're building towards, but it's absolutely necessary and vital, or else we will see such huge upheaval and such anger and pain and suffering that is unnecessary, that it is absolutely unforgivable for us not to move towards a direction of building happiness and prosperity together. Every single time socialized systems have been implemented, they have increased prosperity for the society that they're implemented in. It's very important here. I had one user commenting about this being a communist push. That is factually wrong. During the Cold War in the United States, there was a huge conflation of communism and socialism, and they are two very different things. Communism is a system of authoritarian regime where a few people hold on to power and make unilateral decisions for the entire society. Socialism can operate under multiple forms of government and is simply the ideal that, based off of humanity's prosperity, we should make sure that we don't leave anyone behind unnecessarily. I'm trying to build a movement with you in order to come together and make sure we build a better world tomorrow than we are currently seeing today. I think it's possible. It's going to take some hard work from you and me, though. We need to build community. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Tell me who you think would be good to bring into this movement, because it's going to take a lot of us. Please leave a comment down below and tell me what you think we should be talking about to address these critical changes that we are about to see. Have a great day.